Hi, folks. Paul the Boss Man back again. And before I get started on today's lesson, I want to give you my website again, www.boss.rocks. Um, Helping restaurant owners, managers grow sales, profits professionally and personally. Okay, today we're getting into today's topic is excuse me, how to fix staffing issues. And if you don't have a staffing issue, you always need to worry about staffing. Let's be clear about that. Even though it may not be a big issue, you still always have to worry about staffing. It's a restaurant. People will come and go. That's the nature of the business. It is the most turned over business there is. So, uh, to get in the meat of it, why is there a staffing issue? Is it poor current management, poor previous management, lack of applications, or poor training? It's probably a combination in most cases. Um, but and the reason that is because there's really only two reasons: either bad previous management and you just got there and you got to fix it, or it's bad current management and you're not doing your job. So um, those are really the only two real reasons because management's there to fix the problems. So um, lack of applications and poor training actually would fall under management's control anyway. So there you go. Um, so you have to evaluate first is what do employees want? Money, status, culture, friend. Do they want to work with their friends? Scheduling their hours. And each employee is different, and some might have multiple reasons. Oh, some might have a combination of things. One thing I want to cover is, um, well, I'll cover a couple of them. Status would be do they want a title or a position or whatever, okay? Culture is the atmosphere in which you work in, okay? Um, and then schedule and hours, that could be two, that sounds like one thing, but it's really kind of two different things. Is schedule, when I say schedule, I mean working particular hours because they go to night school or something. Or hours might be the quantity of hours. Remember that these people are getting paid an hourly wage. So even though you may pay them $2 an hour more than somebody else, if they're not getting enough hours, their paycheck's not enough. So they might be better off going somewhere where they can make $2 an hour less, but get twice as many hours. So there's a difference. I wanted to clarify that there. You need to be able to size up an application and a candidate, okay, in order to make a proper offer. Okay. Now remember, ultimately, you're there to make profit. So being able to size up a candidate, make them the right offer, um, means you'll know the difference when that employee, that candidate wants a good schedule, but is willing to accept less pay. Uh, and you got to maximize that opportunity. Okay. Um, and next, and these are just examples. A student might want a certain schedule. Like I said, they go to night school, they want certain hours. A teenager might want to work with their friends. Okay. Um, adult might want adult looking for a full might want a full time job and higher pay because um, they've got to pay bills. Okay. Another adult might want this might be a part time job for them. So what hours they can work in particular, and you being able to work around their main job schedule is important. Okay. Um, and then companies that have flat rates are just plain stupid. Okay. And if you work for one of those companies, I'm sorry for you because it's just really a stupid thing. Okay. Um, and I'll go into why. Uh, do they expect a flat pay when they were hired and when they were interviewed? Did they expect just, hey, we always pay $50,000, a year for a manager, blah blah blah. Is that what you're gonna? Is that what they expected? No, They wanted it. They expected to be able to negotiate. They're expected to be a range. Okay. Um, and companies that do this have planned poorly. I've seen a lot of this in the late 90s and stuff as minimum wage went up. Companies were ill prepared for it. Okay. Now, what does it say to the general public when minimum wage is going up? Okay. Um, it says, oh shit, I'm going to pay more for my McDonald's hamburger now. That's what it says. Uh, in large, they the general public realizes that, hey, minimum wage is going up. That means the companies that pay minimum wage, their prices are going to go up. So don't be afraid to raise your prices because it's already expected. Yeah, I know you want to remain have a competitive edge, but a 5% increase in most cases is going to handle this, and it's hardly noticed on a menu. So, um, and even if it is noticed, most understand and expect it. It's just part of the cost of living. Okay. Um, if you're faced with, I would imagine the minimum wage is going to go up sometime here pretty soon because it hasn't gone up in, oh, geez, what's it been? Almost 20 years now. I think the last time minimum wage went up. So it's more likely going to go up again here pretty soon. So prepare for it. Figure out, and problems aren't solved. I've been doing a lot of these how-to videos. These problems aren't solved by one thing usually. Now, you might find something I've told you that this one thing just works and it solves your problems. You're not getting an application, so you put up the help wanted sign. It worked. Wow, But in the long run, it's not going to work. Work all the angles. Use multiple solutions to your problems. If putting up the help wanted sign got you 20 people, that you needed in the last 2 or 3 months, then great, awesome. I'm glad it worked for you. But what works today in 2 years may not work. Okay. And the public will get tired of seeing that help wanted sign up there, and then they'll soon notice it's not even there. Because even though it is in the window, because they're so used to seeing it. Okay. So, um, you know, everything wears out in time. Ugh. And as you fix things and things get smoother, diversify your solutions so that you're working off multiple avenues, okay, of solutions. Um, Next, we all know that some employees can get 50% more done than another employee. It's just a fact of life. And do you have to pay them necessarily 50% more? No. Maybe it's a dime more. And a dime only more equals $4 a week. You're scoring. If you can get that employee that does 50%, keep that employee happy that's doing 50% more, and give them a 10-cent raise, which is $4 a week, you're coming out way ahead. Give them a quarter, give them a 50 cents, a dollar, whatever, um, you come out ahead. If your company has such rigid labor pay, then you're going to have a lot of problems, and you're going to have to be extra creative. And it can be done. I've done it. It can be done, but you're going to have to be creative. Uh, uh, Next is the 5% increase. Um, most of the most companies don't have a clue on how to fix these problems. For some reason, the management is just honestly so stupid they can't figure out. Hey, cross training, better teamwork, incentives, and everything. These are all going to help solve my labor problem. We're going to have to become more productive. And how are we going to make our restaurants more productive? Or they're so caught up in their ego that they think their restaurants can't be any more productive. That's another stupid one. Okay. Uh, if you're a restaurant owner, don't let this become you. Okay, because you're just hurting yourself. You've got to be proactive. Whenever a minimum wage hike comes up, or you discover that, hey, I'm on the low end of the pain scale, um, uh, and I need to keep up with my competition, um, you got to be prepared for that. Okay, so uh, anyway, don't let this become you, and have multiple ways you're going to lower these things. Um, Staffing, it can't wait. You can't go fix other problems in your restaurant and then come back to staffing. You have to address it now. So as a manager, you've got to multitask. You're going to have to do staff. You're always handling staffing issues, okay, and always hiring. Uh, Hiring is always. I just said it. You are always hiring. Um, you, there's always some weak link, or something somebody that can be better. Okay, you're never going to turn away an excellent employee. Maybe turn away a good one, but you're never going to turn away an excellent one. Okay, um, so you're facing a staffing issue problem. What can you do? Well, you hire help. And it's not just help as in labor, but they're going to help you fix your problem. Okay. Now you're going to say, how does a newbie help me? Okay. Well, a newbie can help you by not being a problem. If you have a problem child and you hire a newbie, newbies shouldn't be a problem from the beginning. Okay. So, by not being a problem. Number two is they're going to replace a problem. Okay. Um, and as managers, we all know our time is limited. So the less fires we have to put out, less problem children we have to deal with, the less counseling we have to do, the less babysitting we have to do, the more productive we can be, the more productive the restaurant becomes. Um, and then in time, they will become part of the solution. Okay. Ugh. When you're training, try to train A to B, A to C, whatnot. And what I mean by that, A is the general manager, B would be the second person in charge, third would be C would be the third person in charge, so on and so forth. The higher ranking person that person can learn from, the better. Okay. Um, Next is uh, oh, uh, you've got to keep the trainee away from problem people. You can't let them train them. You don't want them to work the same shifts. You got to keep them away from them. Otherwise, one bad apple ruins the bunch, right? Um, and the reason is because of attitude. Usually, a poor performing employee has an attitude problem. Okay, we've discussed attitudes. You can't fix them very easily. Um, Next is you can't schedule. Uh, what do you do if you can't schedule the chosen trainer? Okay, well, try to think about, well, can I switch this person? Do a triple trade, not just don't think about just trading this for this, or maybe a quadruple trade where you know everybody, you have three people involved, and they all move to different shifts. Um, and then you work the new hire on the shift they can work. Uh, the other is offer incentives. Cash, of course, always works, or usually works. Free meals, um, maybe extra days off, or IOUs. Most employees like the fact that their boss owes them something, and of course you start with the cheapest and go from there, which would be the IOU. So uh, remember that bad attitude, never train. Okay. Um, and in last resort, is you always work the extra hours yourself. So there's always a way for it to get done, even if you have to put in 60 hours this week instead of 50. Tough luck. That's why you're the boss. What's that? What happens if you're getting a lack of applications? Try the help wanted sign. It's uh, and when I say help wanted sign, I don't mean a sign or a banner that says now hiring. I mean a help wanted sign. Um, And the reason it is because it's universal. People don't have to read it to know what it is. Uh, Next would be try the internet, employment magazines, and then recruiting. And recruiting means you're essentially doing it yourself. Now, it all becomes recruiting once you become face the fact that you have a staffing issue and you're doing something actively yourself to promote recruiting, even the help wanted sign. Now you're recruiting. You're using something, okay? So it all becomes recruiting eventually. But try referrals from restaurants. You go out and find the people, okay? Uh, Try your competitors. See if you can't steal a good employee from them. Uh, the places you go to and service you and places you work, shop and stuff. Last is try putting up flyers. Apartment complexes are great. You take little signs into the apartment complexes, hang them. Usually they have, you walk in the door, well, not always, but often you walk in the door and oh, there's a bunch of mailboxes, 4 to 8 of them on the wall there, right by the front door. Just put a little sign up there with a thumbtack. ABC restaurant now hiring. Okay. Uh, uh, Staffing is not only hiring; it is also training, planning, cross training, and retention. Um, if you do all those things, you're gonna have less staffing to do. Okay. Um, Always hire good people. When I say good people, we're looking for character. Um, Give you an example of a movie I saw. Um, Company was looking to promote somebody into inventory control, and oh, excuse me, they were interviewing current employees for the position, and the owner and managers, upper management, brought in an employee and said, "Look, we want you to be in charge of inventory control and everything, and tomorrow, but I want you to work the job for a day to see what it's like. Tomorrow we're going to have 17 pieces delivered, but I want you to only claim that there's 16. Okay, and so you'll do this for the company, okay, and everything." They bring him back in the next day after he's gone home, thought about it, talked about it with his wife, and he's come to the point where I can't do this because it's dishonest, and um, so I can't do this. I'm sorry. I like working here, but I can't accept the position. And guess what? He's offered the position because they were looking for that was the right answer. So, uh, and don't ever let your morals or ethics be corrupted by a company either. And just like this guy wasn't willing to do that. So, um, but you're looking for that type of person, okay? That's going to say, no, I'm not going to fudge numbers. I'm not going to do this. Um, so those are the type of people you're looking to hire. If you hire those type of people, you're gonna have a lot less problems. And we all know, again, going back to what I said earlier, is uh, putting out fires takes wastes a lot of our time. It stresses us out a lot and everything else. By hiring good people with good character, excuse me, you're gonna have a lot less problems. Okay. Uh, think of questions that are going to draw somebody into making character choices like that, and then mix them in throughout your uh, interviewing process. Don't do them all in a row because then they get the idea of what you're trying to do, where you're going. Mix them in, okay? Uh, Good people always succeed. You can't teach good attitude. You can't teach character. If their parents haven't done this, or their life hasn't done this, then you're probably not going to be able to succeed doing it. Good people equals less problems. Uh, oh, excuse me. Uh, Training is the foundation of solid. Uh, well, I bumped this here. Uh, I erased some of what I needed. Must be on the back of my chair. I wonder if I can read it. You think? I don't think so because it's black too. Anyway, so solid training equals cross training in growing. Um, poor training equals frustration leading to them quitting. Um, and use multiple methods. Okay, um, you're always recruiting, and there's always a weak link. There's always someone that's not up to snuff. I don't care how good a restaurant you have. Um, cross cross training fixes low staffing. If if you don't have enough people, and let's face it, not everybody in a restaurant's going to work full time. So if you don't have enough people, and the guy that's working 20 hours can do multiple positions, now you can put him from 40 hours a week to 20, from 20 hours a week to 40 hours a week, and maybe you would have normally had two 20-hour a week people, which would be better. But in the meantime, that is a temporary solution. So cross training is very important. Uh, 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 be ready to hire the replacements. If this person should quit, what do? You need to ask yourself this. Okay, if my head cook quits, who's his replacement? And this is why cross training is important. This is why uh, staffing is never done. It's never complete. You always got more to do. Uh, Overstaffing is good. It's better to be the picker than the picky. Okay. Uh, every restaurant I have ever worked at to fix has had a staffing issue. Every single one of them. I've done dozens of them. Every single restaurant I've ever worked at, I went there to fix, or even if I didn't go there to fix it, usually if I, was just hired and it was the first store they put me in or whatever, almost always needed staffing. Almost always a staffing issue. Um, and every single time, it by increasing my staffing, increased my sales because they were always understaffed. And it's amazing how bad restaurants get understaffed because they get bad reputations. People don't want to work for poor management, and so on and so forth. It snowballs on them, and they end up shorthanded. So, uh, excuse me. That's on handling staffing issues. Remember, it's a never ending battle. Use multiple solutions. Um, you know, even though you get the help wanted sign up, doesn't mean that you can't offer uh, or give so and so at the grocery store an application. Say, hey, I really like your style, I like the way you work. Here's an application for the restaurant I run. Come in, fill it out. Come in, talk to me. Give me a chance to see if you might not be more happy with us. This sort of thing, um, and just keep working different avenues. Um, use your employees to refer people. When you first start out, you might have to offer them $100 referral bonus. A year later, you might not just be asking for referrals. No money needed. You know, um, so it does change, but you pretty much can never have too many people. Um, that's it for how to fix staffing. Again, please come visit my website www.theboss.rocks, helping restaurant owners, managers grow sales, profits professionally and personally. And please like and subscribe me. Thank you.